Hey everybody, it's Andrew Ainsworth. Warm welcome to the video. Great to have you along. If you're new to the channel, do me a massive favour, would you? Hit that subscribe button, and if you think the video is any good, then give it a thumbs up at the end. Advertisement done. Where am I today? I'm in the world of Cobra. Let me give you a little backstory on Cobra. I've been doing Cobra for, let's see, 6 years now, I would think. And Cobra, a bit like TaylorMade, Callaway, Titleist, lots of other companies change their products every year. And I've had some great years with Cobra, and I've had some absolute disasters. The last 2 years with Cobra have been really disappointing for me. The DarkSpeed, I remember what it was called, I'm pretty sure it's DarkSpeed, yeah. And the DarkSpeed from last year, great clubs, couldn't sell them. Why? Not sure. It was up against things like G430 last year, the DarkSpeed. And for me, as good as the club was, it just didn't have the forgiveness of the performance that the G430 did. So when people came in for fittings, we'd always hit G430 and I'd say, let's try another club alongside it, or maybe 2 other clubs for a comparison. And the G430 just cleaned up every time, pretty much. So DarkSpeed was a disaster. So I contacted my rep who looks after my account, and I said, look, you know, nothing personal here, but I'm going to drop Cobra for 2025. I got my fingers burnt. And he said, really sorry, you know, I understand what you're coming from, but I just want to come and show you this year's model because I think you might be quite surprised. So I was like, oh, here we go. I'm being sold something again I don't want. But anyway, he came along, showed me this new DarkSpeed Adapt, and I thought, do you know what, I think there's something in this product. I hit it, it was much more forgiving, there's a better story behind it, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Stay tuned and I'll tell you all about it. So, DarkSpeed from Cobra Adapt, a lot to talk about here. As I always say in these videos, if you're not interested in the techie specky stuff, and probably advance the video on about 5 or 6 minutes and you can get to the hitting. But I know there's lots of you out there who like to understand what's going on with these clubs. So the DarkSpeed Adapt, Cobra have never been afraid to do groundbreaking stuff. They've always kind of been out there, you know, with some cutting edge technology. And what they've done with this DarkSpeed Adapt, we'll find some graphics for you and show the hosel adapter that you get on all drivers these days. You know, every drivers these days is you can take the shaft out and change the loft and the lie settings and all the rest of it. And normally that comes with, you know, maybe 5 to 7 loft and lie changes that you can make. Cobra Adapt 33. I kid you not, 33 different settings, which, is that a bit of overkill? Probably. A few more than we might need, but from a fitting perspective, it gives you every possible scenario, you know, that you can fit a club to. You know, you get the golfer, the right-handed golfer who's coming a little bit over the top, swing path out to in, face open to the path, and they hit that big cutty slice. You can put this driver into some fairly extreme positions to counter the issue. Now, this is not a guarantee that you're going to turn somebody who's a slicer into a drawer of the ball. That's probably not going to happen. There are limitations, but it will certainly get rid of some of that nasty side spin, and it gives the fitter a lot of options. But 33, yeah. 4 drivers in the range. We'll quickly run you through. We've got the LS driver, the low spin driver, generally suits golfers with higher club speeds. Refined head for maximum workability. So again, we never want to pigeonhole this, but a lot of the top players, elite golfers, really good ball strikers with high club speeds, you know, well over 100 miles an hour would go for this. Then we've got the X driver. The X is kind of the one that sits in the middle, does a little bit of everything. It's fairly neutral. Bless their words, not mine. A blend of speed and forgiveness with adjustable front and back weights. So these weights in the front and the back will change the center of gravity, the CG. The more weight you have in the back of the driver, the lower the CG becomes, the higher the CG becomes at the back, and that tends to launch the ball a little bit higher. Move that weight forward into the front, more weight forward, it will start to lower the trajectory as the CG moves forward. So that's the X. We then go to the maxed K driver, and this you know, the Ping G430 last year released, after they'd released the initial models, the 10K driver. Now, here's the thing, 10K is nothing new. The G400 driver, the Max driver from G400, which was launched several years ago, that hit 10K. And it's really just a measure of MOI. And again, we're getting into some pretty techie stuff here. That MOI is the resistance to twisting. It gives the driver more playability and forgiveness and all that sort of stuff. So they've put in their K driver, 10K MOI design for maximum forgiveness with an oversized head shape to promote confidence and stability. And the final one we have is the Max D, D standing for draw. This is heel weighting, so the more weight you have in the heel of a driver here, the more it tends to want to close the club face or make it less open. Maximum draw bias in a lightweight design to maximum speed and forgiveness. So, a lot of drivers, 4 heads going on there with 33 different options to set the driver up. So, if you're going to have a look at one of these DarkSpeed Adapt drivers, you definitely want to come and get fitted for one, because there's a lot to go at there, isn't there? And then once you buy it, you really want to have this driver dialed in on a launch monitor by a professional fitter who can set that driver up to customize it for you. Let's just see what else I can tell you. So there's this, they call it Future Fit 33. And what's quite clever, you'll see it in a minute, is that when you scan the head, when you look at the head, I'll just give you a little overhead here. There's a little QR code on the driver, and if you scan that, it then takes you to the fitting wheel, which again, I'll put a little graphic up, and it can show you where to place the club. You basically hit some shots, and then on the plotter, you place what you're doing, and then it tells you which setting to go to counter either the fade, the slice, the ball's too high, the ball's too low. A lot going on there, isn't there? Let's build a driver. Let's have a little hit. Let's tell you a little bit about what shafts are available here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the X driver, because that's the one that's right in the middle for today's test. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. So I've got this set in neutral at the moment, which is the A1 setting, 10.5 degrees of loft. I played around before I did the video on some different shafts. I tried the Denali red shaft, but that was a little bit spinny for me. I was spinning the ball up I was struggling to get it under 3,000. So I went to the Denali black in a 60 gram in stiff. This is a much lower spinning shaft, and it seemed to take the spin right down to sort of 2.2. I did also move the weights forward. I took the bigger weight and moved that forward, took it out the back, because again, I was spinning up. So huge amount of adjustability on this driver, and I really like it. I say I've had mixed thoughts and reviews on previous Cobra drivers, but this one's a beauty. Have a little overhead. Very un-Cobra-like from above, very stealthy look. You know, Cobra in the past have gone with sort of bright colours and lipstick around the back of the club in bright colours, but this is very sort of understated. Lots of carbon on there, exposed carbon. Yeah, it's pretty nice. The hole I'm playing on here is the second hole at Kinsale Golf Club in Ireland, the widest fairway in the world, which suits my game. And it does play ever so slightly downhill, so it probably is going to inflate the yardages a little bit. But, you know, I need a little bit of help at my age. So let's have a little hit and see how we get on with this. Okay, a little bit of a pull down the left-hand side to start with. How on earth can I miss that fairway? It's like 100 yards wide. We'll just ignore that one. Let's go again. Start this a little bit more down the right. Strike was quite good, but that was a bit better. I think that miss of my first driver is equate. Do you know the first hole at St Andrews? It's the widest fairway in golf. Okay, and it's equivalent to missing that. I remember poor old Ian Baker Finch back in the day hooking his tee shot on that hole in the Open, and I think he went out of bounds. Dreadful start for the fella. Right, I digress. What have we got? Got some numbers for you. I know you like numbers. We have a club speed of 101 miles an hour. That's about me these days. I can push my club speed up a little bit higher, but about 100. So if you're around about the 100 mile an hour speed mark, this is what you should be getting. 142 ball speed, launching at 12.3, spinning at 2.7, and that's giving me a carry distance of 240. So it is slightly downhill, this. I think if I was on level ground here, that would be more around about a 230 carry through the air. And then whatever the ground's going to give up, hard, fast summer conditions, that might run out to 260, 270. Winter conditions over here in the UK, it's more likely to pitch and stop. And obviously the ball doesn't travel as far in colder air. Let's try and wind one up a little bit. Oh, it's not bad. I thought I was going to go left on me. That should be a little bit higher on the club speed. We will see. Felt it. My back felt it. No, it's exactly the same. 101, 142 ball speed. It was a slightly better strike than the first one, but again, very consistent numbers. 12.6 launch, 2.4 spin, 244 carry. It's got a great noise and sound to it. It's got a real, you might not pick this up indoors, but it's got a real solid thud to it. I really like it. And it's got forgiveness. Tell you about some of the previous models. Oh, that was right at the bottom. That was a bottom groove strike. Testing the playability now. Let's see if the ball speed drops off. This is where it's it's really interesting with the modern driver. That was kind of like a low heel strike, 100 mile an hour club speed, but normally on older generation drivers, when you hit that strike, the ball speed drops right off, the backspin increases and we lose carry. But I've got away with that, you know, 2.6 spin, 237 through the air, 13 yards left of centre. Great driver. Efficiency rating here at 145, which is good. Go one more. Don't think I've really got hold of one yet. Ooh, that's one of the high toe strikes. Yeah, high toe. Again, testing the club face. Still done quite well. That will maybe be a little bit spinny. Higher launch as I hit it higher on the club face. Ball speed dropped off a little bit, but still, you know, running out there just shy of 260. Do we like this driver? We do. I think the adjustability will probably wind some people up. Some people will say that's too much, you know, it's overkill. It is what it is, and as long as you know what you're doing with these adapters, then most people come for a fitting. You set the driver up and we leave it there, you know, so you don't have to play around with it. Price wise over here in the UK, we always like to talk price. We're not afraid to talk about it. This is going to be retailing at $469 for the driver, which is considerably less than things like the Ping G440 or the latest TaylorMade or the latest Titleist driver or the latest Callaway, which are going to be all around that in the UK, around about that 525 mark. So saving a little bit of money on the Cobra, but it's definitely worth a hit. And I'm really glad that I'm stocking it. So if you're in the Hertfordshire area, North London area, and you want to come and try a Cobra driver, we've got all the heads, all the shafts, and you're very welcome. Fittings are free, so and the advice is free. So yeah, give me a call. You can get my number off the internet. Thanks for watching the video today. I've enjoyed doing it, and I've enjoyed showing you the new Cobra DS Adapt driver. Comments down below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up if you want. Bye for now.